Hello and welcome back. Yes, I'll keep fainting. That's what I do. Here we are at Ekatertas, but we won't be lingering around here right now, as we need to do more stuff, including hear more of an epic story of the past. Well, in fact, let's start with that because I have no idea exactly how long it would take for the story to unwind. So let's actually do that first. Let's talk to Breglet and hear of the years she spent in Eregion long ago. Yes, it's interesting because we already saw the story of the other elf and the end of Celeborn and the encounter with Sauron, but she would talk about Sauron too, I'm sure, but from a little earlier.
It pained Celebrimbor to see the woods and fens so ill-treated, but he did not want to harm his alliance with the men of Numenor.
Interesting. He counseled them to take greater care of the land, but his words were not heeded. Galadriel's sorrow became too great, and she turned her attention to Lorelin and other distant lands. Celebrimbor gave up the woods as lost, turning all his attention and skill toward mastering his craft. Together, Celebrimbor and his fellowship of jewelsmiths became the most renowned workers of riches in all of Middle-earth. If they could not halt the slow degradation of the land's beauty, they would at least seek to supplement and preserve it through their craft. And so they were ensnared. Yeah, that's the wrong approach, I think.
I can still see this city as it was, during the height of its beauty. So much was lost.
Yes, I'm sure. The Silver Bastion became a shining jewel itself, a beacon of art and music and culture that drew the attention and the love of many from distant lands. Karas Gelebren and Mirabel became places of such beauty they recalled the fabled elf halls of old, and trade with Lindon thrived. But not all who watched this from afar watched with friendly eyes. In the land of Mordor, to which he fled following the defeat of his master Morgoth, Sauron seethed. He feared the rising might of Numenor, and despite having drawn orcs and other fell creatures to his service, he knew he did not possess the overwhelming numbers with which his master had dominated the world in past days of triumph. Triumph for whom? He devised a scheme by which he would use his enemies' weaknesses against them. And so he came to Eregion in fair guise, masking his true nature.
He called himself Ontheron.
That's right, as we've learned from the previous episode. Word of your craft skills has spread far and wide, my lord Celebrimbor, even into the uttermost west. I'm humbled by your presence here, Antheron. I see in your arrival an omen of good fortune. How wrong you are. Accept my greetings and my welcome. You'll be my honored guest. Adron had gone first to Lindon, but Gil-galad mistrusted him and refused to treat with the strange newcomer. But why didn't Gil-galad warn Celebrimbor then? It was in Karas Celebren that the Lord of Gifts found one whose lineage and whose hunger for secret knowledge made him the perfect target for Antheron's promises. Celebrimbor could not resist. Before long, the new arrival became a mentor to him, and to the jewelsmiths of Eregion.
Not all who dwelled at Caras Galebrin trusted this new arrival.
And rightly so.
Celeborn saw something in the Lord of Gifts that troubled him.
I cannot say why I'm so disquieted, Honorio. I share your unease, my lord. The bright company will go wherever you lead. Show us this threat, and we will end it. But that is the heart of the problem, my friend. What is the threat? Yes, I mean, the giver of gifts. Timeo Danai et dona ferentes, as the Romans used to say. Though Galadriel had gone, Celeborn remained at Caras Galebrin. As Eregion's chief defender, he refused to abandon these lands, and sought instead to protect them against the stranger who had seized Celebrimbor's ear. Anteron hated the Bright Company and its deeds, and summoned one threat after another to trouble them. Celeborn and his warriors were often drawn away from the city, and many a noble elf was slain in these engagements. But still the Lord of the Bright Company could not connect these rising threats with the newcomer Anteron and his too ready smiles. See, connecting the dots is a very important, crucial skill. If you don't, you're doomed.
Despite the mistrust of some at Celebrimbor's city, Antheron did not remain idle. He gathered to himself promising students and gave to them secret knowledge. But whatever he taught them, always he held something in reserve. Always there was more to be learned, more instruction to be given.
How will we know we have mastered what thou hast taught us? Said the elf student. The most promising among you will know, Narmelet. Ah, this is Narmelet. Not just anybody. Should remember this name. The students were not his only pupils. As the years passed, Anteron grew more and more brazen. Celebrimbor and his jewelsmiths fell further beneath his thumb, ensnared by his promises of secret knowledge and the working of crafts both beautiful and powerful. Oh, now we're in Tam Yadain. Whatever I place. Look at this. Grand place indeed. But it's worth noting if its inhabitants are not worthy, right? The Jewel Town and the Silver Bastion thrived, and the glory of Celebrimbor and his jewelsmiths only increased, year after year. But the true masterpiece of Caras Galebrin was its ring forge.
Antheron convinced the jewelsmith to forge great rings of power. Long they toiled, until at last their work was complete.
A set of 7 and a set of 9. You are certain these great rings will help preserve the land? They will help protect the lands of those who wear them, my lord. Give them to the hole diggers and the fellers of trees. So they can keep digging holes, right, and fell trees. The degradations they cause will be slowed. Just slowed? I called your arrival an omen of good fortune, Lord of Gifts. And yet I undervalued the help you would provide. I serve the powers, my lord. Yes, which powers? As do I, in all things. So you're both servants in all things? Great. How can that end up in something nice? Or good? Celebrimbor gave to the kings of dwarves and men the rings he had made, and for a time he knew peace, not knowing he had been deceived, not knowing that what he had done would nearly undo the world. Shortly afterwards, Antaron departed. He would return to Eregion only once more, and when he did, he would bring death and destruction with him. But after he was gone, Celebrimbor began to doubt. In time, suspicion awakened in his heart, and he began to worry that Antaron had ensnared him by his own greed in some devious scheme. He decided to use the art he had learned to forge 3 more great rings, unknown to the treacherous Lord of Gifts. He believed he and his kinfolk could use these 3 rings for protection, should matters go ill. Here we are, the fires of doom. Oh man. Mordor. Antaron returned to Mordor, and in the heart of his kingdom he cast aside his fair guise. He had no more need for deception. In Mordor, the Dark Lord Sauron sought the fulfillment of the scheme for which he had planned, walking unnoticed among his hated enemies for so many years.
You go on ahead. My words will guide you, but I go no further than this.
Oh man, if that's not ominous, I don't know what is. Her words will guide me? Now look at the scale of this place. I mean, we're running right now. But still. The mountain of fire.
In the fiery heat of Orodruin, Mount Doom, Sauron forged the ruling ring. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. In the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie,
Wow. Again, it doesn't get much more epic than this. Not in a good way, of course.
Celebrimbor had kept 1 of the 3 for his own.
At the moment that Sauron placed the ruling ring on his own finger, Celebrimbor knew his danger. He removed his ring and vowed to never wear it again, lest his mind be dominated by the Dark Lord. Those of the jewelsmiths who had similarly kept rings were made to give them up, sometimes by force, and the 3 rings were sent in secret to hidden bearers. Messages were sent to men, dwarves, and elves, in which Celebrimbor admitted his folly and warned of the coming war. So were the folk made ready to defend Middle-earth, but it would not be enough to save Eregion from the ravages of Sauron. The gates of Mordor opened, and the armies of Sauron came forth. He would seize as many of the rings of power as he could find, but the 3 remained hidden to him, and he touched them not. Meneldir has returned from his errand to Mosswood. A little more mundane things, maybe.
But who is this?
Well, let me introduce you to... So, Meneldir, this is Bregulet. Bregulet, this is Meneldir.
The gates of Mordor? The armies of Sauron? What did I miss?
Asselbur? Sure, it is not as bad as all that. Sauron has been dead for 3,000 years, and today Mordor is an empty land. Meneldir squints at Breglet. Sometimes elves have trouble marking the passage of the years. I mean, on no offense. Hardened chain armor, patched leather jacket, or stitched robe.
I returned Tegwin to Mossward.
And while I was unable to coax a promise not to venture again into the wild, his parents gave him enough chores to keep him occupied at least until adulthood, at which point I think our obligation to keep him safe must surely lapse. I swore an oath to the farmers of Swampfleet. Meneldir studies your expression and sighs heavily. Wendell did not speak kindly of me, did he? I am not surprised, Massador. In my heart, I still hold the cause of the Dunedain most dear. But I understand my folk may not believe it, and I cannot deny the breaking of my oath. You should talk to them yourself. But who is your new friend? If she hates the Uruks as we do, and is willing to aid us, perhaps she can help us track down several of their leaders? Rumor of the 3 such villains has preceded me here, and I cannot help but think the work would go more quickly if we were to split up, each of us to deal with one. Not a bad idea. The grasping hand.
Well, what say you to this?
I'm okay with the plan.
I have hated Orkkind for much longer than you have been alive, Dunedain.
As for the oaths you have taken or broken, I know he to whom you're sworn, or should be. I know what he desires to become. Ask not if I will help you, Ranger of the North. Ask instead if you're strong enough and courageous enough to lend any assistance to Breglet of Imladris, of which she could have any need. Breglet smirks at Meneldir, an amused light dancing in her eye. The ranger stares back, his mouth open. Caught off guard, Ranger? I will slay one of your Uruk leaders, Meneldir, and Baskwood will slay another. Can you be trusted to deal with the third? Oh, come on now. He's pretty good. Show their locations to us on the man's map, and we'll see it done. Afterwards, we can meet at Ithobel, a camp of my people to the north of here. Okay.
After each of us slays the Uruk leader we have chosen, we will meet at Ithobel.
Yes, and it shouldn't have been so condescending towards my friend here, but okay. We shall continue with the epic story in a while, but that was great. It was a really good story. A very significant one, again bearing significance to the present day and beyond even. Alright, well now let's continue with the approaches to Karas Gelebren and investigate further. So, here we have to find the bridge to the north of Karas Gelebren and the riverbank to the southwest. Okay. White hand, black arrow. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. And here's the white hand, you can see it right in the middle of his chest. No longer, it's gone now. Right the gate. Aha, there's a bridge. The bridge is clear of threats from the north. For now. So it seems. Okay. Yes, so now we have to find the riverbank to the southwest of Ekatertas. Oh, southwest of Ekatertas, not southwest of Karas Gelebren. But either way, the next approach and the final approach to Karas Gelebren. Yeah, I think in terms of introduction to the game and to the lore and everything, they've done a great job here with Swan Fleet, well, into the game mechanics in the game. You have much more casual stories, but then we have all those much more epic stories as well. And a good balance between both. Just like in life, we need some balance between epic and mundane. Okay. Wow, that'll take a while actually. All the way into wade water here. Well, I can't see as well, but I don't see any dangers. The river poses a natural barrier against incursions from this direction. Wow, I didn't need to come all the way here to find that out. They already knew that, but whatever. Okay. Now, let's also collect some flowering rushes for one of the elves at the camp. Yes, we're here. Wow. Apologize for this slow drawing of assets, but it's not on my end. It's a server issue. Hopefully they'll fix it one day. In 15 years, probably. That'll be my guess. Since it took them so many years to go to 64-bit servers and that didn't solve anything much at all. But you know, the developers might not be so great, but the game is still great, so problems are problems. Flowering rush. Delicate pink flowers dot these marsh-loving plants. Okay. Let's collect a couple more. Just a moss lurker, creature of nature. Yeah, those are pretty flowers. I don't know why the elf was drawn to them so strongly. One of the main reasons she came to that area. Maybe we'll find out from her words. I'll leave it in a little bit. We have discovered Guo Kruban. I have? Yes, Guo Kruban. Okay. We should probably read about that place. Let's check. Guo Kruban. The buildings that once stood here are now overgrown by reeds and haunted only by turtles. Okay, so nothing so particular about this place. Who might you be? Inartron.
Megovanen.
Well met, champion. You're just in time. I'm afraid that I have gotten my foot trapped here. I have managed to fend off the turtles thus far, but help is appreciated. Really? Your foot is so badly stuck. This elf's foot seems to have gotten stuck in a hole in the ground. And you cannot take it out? I mean, literally. How big is that hole if I see like 80% of your leg above ground? And you're an elf. An elf in its prime got stuck in a tiny hole, cannot save himself. Isn't that embarrassing? Well, maybe not. Don't worry, I'll help you. Freeing the stuck foot. Wow, that took a while. You managed to free him. How marvelous. How did I manage to do this? There was a tiny hole and yet, with all my strength, I had to pull. Freed! I can make my way back to Ekatertas on my own now. I thank you for your assistance. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, well. So... more elfish ruins here. And more turtles. Oh. Also cache of old notes. Recover some scholar's notes. Okay. Can I read those notes? I don't think so. Oh well. Oh yes, and we have to deal with dread turtles as well. Wait, this just turned golden now? Or I didn't pay attention. You have found an ancient treasure cache. Wow. Oh no, it was in a different location. Yeah, I'm just a little blind. Okay. Another flower here. And yet another one over there. And then we need one more. And then we have to deal with some turtles, I guess. There. Red turtles. Okay, where would last flower be? Yeah, somewhere around here. Uh-huh. I can smell it. It has a faint smell, but a very nice one. Here it is, right next to the water. Okay. Few more turtles here and there. And we have a turtle soup, right? No, we're just seeing the numbers. I don't know why I keep dreaming about eating turtle meat and turtle eggs. I have no idea, but I guess I find it that it's more likely that their meat is more tasty than the dragon kind meat, the Avang meat, with which we had to deal a few episodes ago.
Megovanen.
Who said Megovanen? This dread turtle speaks Elfish? Yes, who was that? Or the annoyingly aggressive Avang said that in a gentle voice? Did you say Megovanen? I don't think so. Alright. I think I have to dwell on that. Who said Megovanen? The turtle or the Avang? Maybe we'll find out in our next episode. I'll see you soon. Take care.